myself Santhosh, and currently I'm working as manager in Microsoft, taking training for KSR for the last 5 years.
In the last class, we just had a couple of sessions in discussing what is this data analytics, how important the data is, and now we are jumping into the roadmap. To become a data analyst, we have set of things that we need to learn. As and then the first thing, we'll start learning SQL, right? And then followed by Power BI, then followed by specifically we'll be focusing on one component, that is ADF, and finally we'll be learning all the new technologies that was launched in this year, which is known as Fabric. And we will be learning all this for. Once you learn this all four, you can proudly walk out as a data analyst. With that, let's jump into SQL. With that, let's jump onto SQL. Now, just before we get started with SQL, the full form is structural query language or structured query language, whatever you call. So S stands for structured, Q stands for query, and L stands for language. Now we know that it's going to be a language. SQL is nothing but a language. Now, why this is required? Is there any other alternative I can use? Why should I go only with SQL? There are a lot of debate that will happen, and let's keep this session interactive. Today, we're going to discuss what is this SQL. Of course, my way of learning is whether it is important or not. I'm learning any technology, I always try to see the history of the technology. No one is going to ask you when SQL was launched, who introduced SQL. No one is going to ask, but it's my way of learning. Respecting a technology, I try to understand when it was launched. That gives me at least a small motivation. Okay, this has been launched on this day. Let's learn it. Okay, now that's what we are going to see today. And the most important thing is, just like that, I have not choose this technology. Why it is so important in our system, and that is one thing we will be focusing today. Okay, now before we get started, can anyone tell me when did India win the 2011 World Cup? On which day? World Cup season. So we are already 1 month away to this World Cup, and of course, what a coincidence! India is the home team who is going to organize this. The last time when India had organized World Cup in 2011, India won the World Cup. Question to you, when did it happen? Does anyone remember the date?
April 4th.
April 4th? Come on, you're all Indians or not? When did India win the World Cup? April 2? Against which nation? Who hit the winning shot? Second question, you're all using your smartphone, right? Everyone in this class is using smartphone. Can you all tell me when did the first ever smartphone was launched? Date? No one knows. I only know how to operate, but I don't know. Who cares what happened when it was launched? Correct? When was the first smartphone launched? Come on, you're all using on daily basis, right? Without smartphone nowadays, you can't even leave. When did the first smartphone was launched? 1992. ChatGPT or Bard? Yes? Or you remember? Okay. Do you all remember this date? November 8th, 2016. Demonetization. Again, back to cricket. Do you know who holds the record of fastest one day 100? Just because yesterday I was seeing highlights, I took this. Anyone knows who is this? South Africa's AB de Villiers holds a record of fastest one day international century. He just took 31 balls. Okay. Now back to this. February 2009. What happened? February 2009, what happened? One of the most widely used messaging app, WhatsApp, was launched, and you people are not aware of it. Just 30 minutes back, you got a message from KSR saying that you have to join a session, and we all got through WhatsApp. Every day, you're sending hundreds of messages to your friends, relatives, family members, and you don't know when it was launched. Next question, the last question. 21st March 2020, what happened? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I asked you all the 6 questions. Not everyone knew the answer, but somewhere you know, okay, something has happened this, but your brain is not able to remember this. You have a number of things to take care of it. Even I didn't know. Honestly, even I didn't know. Something I thought, okay, World Cup season is coming. Let's see when India won the last World Cup. I took that. And day before yesterday, India versus Sri Lanka. We had a very short match. Then I was thinking, okay, the score itself is 50. So let's see who scored fastest one day 100. I just checked that. And yesterday, somewhat when I was cleaning my house, I found old 500 rupees note. Old 500 rupees note. Do you all remember how it is? Do you all remember how it look?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you all remember how 1000 rupees note look like? Or you people have forgotten? Yeah, still you have. Okay. Now, when I was cleaning my house, I found the old note. Then I was thinking, oh, when did it got changed? Then I just went and checked. Yes, it was November 8th, right? And every day I'm using WhatsApp. Let's see when it was launched. And finally, the day where I got relieved is 21st March. No need to go to office. That's a day which personally I liked it. Who will go to office work? Stay at your home, wake up you want, whatever time you want. 9 o'clock is my meeting. 8:59, I'll be on bed. As simple as that. Would have seen in many memes, correct? And that's what all this dates. Now the question to you is, when all these dates, if I just browse it, I'll get it. How is this possible? Remember a tagline. Remember a tagline. I keep saying this until the SQL class is completed. So please keep on remembering it. Something, somewhere it is stored. That is why when you simply go and browse, you're able to get it. You simply go and search March 21, 2020, you'll immediately get the 21-day lockdown starts. You immediately go and search February 2009, whatever happened, you will get it. How is this possible? One straightforward answer to your question, something, somewhere it is stored. And that is why you're able to fetch even today. If you ask me even 1949 what happened, 1950 what happened, 1965 what happened, I can still get the answers. How it's possible? Something, somewhere it is stored. Now already you have repeated 3 times, something, somewhere it stood, something, somewhere it stood, something, somewhere it stood. Where? Where it is stored? How is possible to get all this information? Well, now comes a storage where we are all storing this. It's called a database. Now, a database is a place where all this data is getting stored, right? If I ask you in your house, where is all the water getting stored? You'll simply point out on the terrace, say that there is a water tank. And from the water tank, we are like storing the water. The same way, now the question arises, today we are able to work with so much of data. The first question you should be having is, where do we have this data stored? Right? Where do we have this data stored? And the answer is, all this data is getting stored in database. You people are uploading a lot of things in WhatsApp, Facebook, right? Twitter, Instagram photos, you are uploading reels. Have you ever thought where it is getting stored? You're doing a lot of transaction, you're sending money to someone, you're booking a ticket, you're ordering something. How the prices is getting populated? You just open an Amazon portal and you see all the prices of the each product. Have you ever thought how this product prices is coming on? Right? Now, slowly if you start thinking, you'll try to understand something somewhere it is stored. Correct? I don't know how many of you have done this. Maybe if you're in India, you would know this. It was very hard and it is very hard to book Tatkal ticket. What is Tatkal ticket? Yes, one of the very widely used way of transportation in India is Indian Railways, right? Indian Railways. So everyone prefers to travel in train. Personally, me also. But if you want to travel in train, you have to book your tickets. So you have to book your tickets well beyond 90 days. And of course, if it is not a demand place, you can even get 1 week before. But sometimes the train tickets are full. The central government has decided to go with a Tatkal ticket. In case if you're traveling in on emergency basis, you can book the ticket 1 day before the actual journey date. And it's exactly at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can book the tickets for AC. And in the 11 o'clock, you can book the tickets for normal. Personally, wherever I go, it will be everything will be a sudden plan. So I try to book the Tackle tickets. It's very hard, very hard. 11:05, 11:04, the complete tickets will be done. For every train, they used to give around 150 or 200 tickets, depending on the train you book. And within 2-3 minutes, everything will be booked. How is it possible? There are thousands of people who are trying for that ticket, and if you are lucky, you may get it. And how this is possible? Multiple people are accessing the system, accessing the data at a one time. If one person is booked, the other person, it should show as booked, correct? And the best example I can give is Book My Show or Redbus. These are again the other two apps where you will be booking. By chance, you take a smartphone, okay? Try it right away today. You take two smartphones. Make sure that in the two smartphones, either you open a Book My Show or you go with a Redbus. Let's take a Redbus. Choose the same destination and source, and select one bus ticket in the smartphone one. The moment you select, don't pay it. If you just try to go till the payment, you give your phone number, name, and give your name, and automatically from the other smartphone, if you see, the ticket shows blocked. Have you all experienced this? You have still not booked it. You have still like selected the seat only, but for the other person, it will show as blocked. And for you, they'll throw a message. You have to complete the transactions in the 10 minutes or the ticket will be released. Have you all experienced this? Yes? Right. Now, when multiple people are entering or when multiple people are like focusing on data, you all will be wondering, how is this possible? How is this possible? How is this possible? Well, there is a backend system which is called database. So simultaneous changes, yes, it's going to happen. Okay. And data changes will be uploaded on a regular basis. Yes. And if you want to add a new account, you create a new Google account or you create a new KSR account. Yes, possibly you will be making as a new entry. And all these things, if you see, it's all happening in a database. Well, database is necessary. Without database, where do you store the data? And we people are cruel people. We are using data like anything. Morning when we wake up, the first thing we open is WhatsApp, Instagram. The last thing which you do before going sleep is again WhatsApp or Instagram. Keep using it, keep using it. You watch movies, Netflix, Hotstar, Prime, YouTube, right? Facebook, Twitter. Oh my God, how many apps are there? If you keep on using, you're generating data, and the question arises again for you, where are you storing? That is where the database comes into picture. You people will be wondering, I started with SQL, and why suddenly database came into picture now? Well, all the 70 people in this class are understanding the way of I speak. You're understanding my communication, right? Every single person in this class is trying to understand what I'm speaking. The reason? I'm speaking in a language which everyone knows, which everyone knows. If I speak in a local language, assuming that a lot of people are from Andhra, if I speak in Telugu, can I convince all the 70 people? Definitely no. Assuming that a lot of people are from Karnataka, if I speak in Kannada, do you think all of you can understand? Never. If I speak in Hindi, never. But if I speak in English, everyone will be able to understand. Now, in order to communicate to you, I am using one language, which is called English. In order to communicate with you, I'm using one language, which is called English. Well, in order to communicate to a database, you still need to know one language. That language is SQL, as simple as that. If you want to ask some question, just now I asked some question, right? What happened in 29? What happened on 21st March? When did India win the first World Cup? If I keep asking this question, at the back end, what happens? This questions gets converted into a language in which database will understand. The one and only language which a database can understand is, it's not English, it's not any local language, it's not any high level language or a low level language or even any machine level language. The only one language in which database can understand is SQL, which stands for structured query language. Remember this point. SQL is the only language which is used to communicate to the database. There is no other language which you can use it for communicating with your system. If you want to talk to a database, you can talk only with one language, and that language is SQL. Well, now it makes sense. Okay, whatever I do for data analysis, I just need to go and pick the data from one system. I cannot go and talk in English. I have to talk in a language, and that language is going to be structured query language, right? Now, if I talk about a storage, I'll ask you in simple terms. You have a lot of photos from your childhood, right? Maybe 90 kids will never know, but at least for the 2K kids, what you do for your kids, what you're doing, right from the day one, you're taking photos, like 5 months photo, 5 years photo. You're all taking your photos, right? You're all doing this. Maybe in my age, I was not giving that importance to photos. Now, a lot of things are there. Pre-wedding shoot, post-wedding shoot, right? Drone shoots. A lot of things are there, right? Now, even today, we are all facing a storage issue. So where are we storing? First, we used to store in our phone. We have a tiny piece chip which is called memory card. Do you all know this? Do you all know this memory card? Did you last use this? So good to see. It's been a while, almost 10 years. I've never seen this. Right. Initially, whenever I want to, it looks so good. This is something which I've never used for the last 10 years, honestly. Before this, I used to buy this type of memory cards because I cannot keep on changing my phone. Once my phone memory is full, I'll go and buy a memory card, right? How many of you have used this? Yes, all of you know this, right? Memory card is something, it's a chip we insert in our phone to store all our photos and videos, whatever it is, right? And after this, there came something called pen drive. It came something called pen drive. Memory card, maybe you can put it on phone. It was like 4 GB, 8 GB. Then in order to store your photos, we started using pen drive. And this is something even recently also we are like using. Whenever if you want to take some files to somewhere else, you put in your memory card and you take it, right? Well, what is this? Again, it's a storage layer. Memory card is a storage layer which is used to store your photos, videos, audios, whatever it is. Pen drive is also something which you're storing. And apart from this, now I'm using something called, what is that? Hard. This is something which is now I'm using. Okay, hard drive. So hard drive is basically like this. You can store up to 1 TB, right? Now this is what you're using. Now this itself has evolved a lot of changes from memory card to pen drive to hard disk, right? So here in this hard disk, you can store up to 1 TB or even more than that, depending on the device you purchase. Now, coming back to this, here also we have many database. Just like your memory card, and in the memory card, you have a different brand. Okay, transit memory card, SanDisk memory card, right? Even if you take a pen drive, there are a lot of pen drives, right? Pen drive is a device, but who is introducing that? There are a lot of companies. Sony pen drive is there, Samsung pen drive is there, Transcend pen drive is there, and SanDisk pen drive is there. These are the top 4 pen drive companies I know. Similarly, you have different database also. Like we have Oracle database, we have a Sybase database, we have a Microsoft SQL Server. Well, remember one thing, let it be whatever database it is. The only way you can communicate to a database is by using one language, and that language is SQL. This is the only language which you can use it for your communication. Okay. Now, okay, I got to know what is this SQL and also got to know the full form. And I'm very happy that this is the only language which we are used to communicate to database. So it's easy to remember. Now moving on, let's see how the data is getting stored first. Let's see how the data is getting stored first. All the 70 people in this class will have a one common thing like name. Everyone has their own name, right? If you ask me my name, I'll tell. If you ask your name, you'll tell. If I ask my colleague name, he will tell. So what is common here? Name, right? Now name, age, employee details, location. These are all a very high level description, which I can say it as columns. These are all columns. These are all columns. Like everyone has a name, it's a column. Now each one person will have their own details. If you ask me, I'll have my own name, my own department, where I'm coming from, where is my location. So all this information. So each and every information, we call it as a rows, right? So each and every person's details, we call it as a row. And the main feature, we call it as like what type of value you're storing, which stands at column. So we have a row, we have column, and the entire thing is like rows and columns is stored in a table, and specifically if you're focusing on, okay, what is the salary of a software engineer or where is he coming from, this specific value, I'll call it as a data point. Data point or data value, column or field, row or record, table or object. Two different names. Wherever you see this, don't get confused. Let's keep it very simple. Try to focus on the first word, like row, column, data, table. Now this is how the data is getting stored. You're all wondering, okay, we're all using so much of data, where it is getting stored. In the backend, this is stored in the form of table. And if I want to go and ask some question, hey, what is a recruiter's salary or what is a software engineer salary? Well, you're talking to database and you can talk to only one language, and that language is going to be SQL, right? Now, why is it very important? Why it's very important? Even if I go and chart it down, I can see that 55% of all the technology in order to communicate with the any system for a data pre-processing. When I say data pre-processing, like you want to do some calculations, you want to pull the data, you want to see what is happening in the back end, you just go and ask one question: what happened in 2022, what happened in 2021, what happened in 1999? How to fetch this? Well, if you see, there are a lot of other technologies as well, but the one technology which is always important, and it has been proven from many of the organization and projects, even we have done a lot of research, we're all working employees, we go to our colleagues, like ask them what is happening, which technology you're using, how SQL is being used. Well, after all this, we found out the stats that 55% of all the projects coming from different domains, they're using SQL for data processing. And then comes your Python, Hadoop, R, or whatever it is. Well, this is a flow. Okay, I'll give a small story. Everyone reports to one manager, right? Let's say, for example, for the next 3 months, you're all reporting to me. And if I have an issue, I'll report to my manager. So it's always an employee manager relationship wherever you work, correct? Similarly, in Microsoft, I'm a manager. There are around 42 members who are reporting to me as of today, right? Now, do you think I'm the head? No, I will have another manager. I will have another manager, senior manager. And there are almost 100 members who are reporting to him. and I'm one among them. So this is how the hierarchy, right? So all the 70 people in this batch, maybe you may report to me. And they're like maybe n number of trainers like me who are reporting to Mahesh. So that's how the hierarchy, right? Now, of course, this 100 could also be less depending on them. You move the hierarchy, correct? Now I'll tell you a simple story. Okay. The technology which you're learning now, data science, data analytics, or even if you take data engineering, everything is a data related. If I keep counting like SQL, Python, Hadoop, R, these are all technologies. The number of technologies as of now, I know is 47. I'm aware of 47 technologies so far. I'm aware of 47 technologies. And one technology which you're learning now is SQL. My manager knows only one technology, and that is only SQL. There is nothing else. Nothing else he knows. He knows only SQL. I know 45 technologies, and he knows only one technology. But he's still a manager. He's still managing 100 people. Very close manager. We work very close. We even don't even consider as like a manager-employee relationship. We consider as a close friends, right? The package which he is getting for 15 years experience is getting 41 lakhs. Do you all know what is the meaning of 41 LPA? 41 lakhs per annum. Okay. Now, 41 divided by 12 per month, 3.5 lakhs. I don't know if at least our prime minister will get this. 3.5 lakhs per month for knowing how many technologies? One technology. For knowing one technology is getting 41 lakhs. Now, don't think that hey, even if I learn SQL, I will become like this. No. Is that from a company from long time, but I would also say that he is under very much risk. If tomorrow anything happens, he'll be the first person to be fired. Why? What will I do with only one technology? Nowadays, companies are preferring high package. Now, coming back to the same context, why I'm saying you this is SQL is that important. With only one technology, if the company is still paying, that means he's an expert in SQL, they're still paying 41 lakhs. How's this possible? 3 lakhs per month only for knowing one technology, which is SQL. And if I go and sit with him, there will be huge difference in terms of amount of the technology which I know and which he knows. There will be a lot of difference, but still he will be considered as a first priority. You know why? Because of the language, which is SQL. You become a data engineer, you become a data scientist, you become a data analyst. Well, I keep saying this. Your first language which you need to know is always should be SQL. There is no escaping from this. Whenever college students come to me for a mentorship, they ask like, what should I do next? People say that communication plays a major role if you want to work in IT. You know what I say them? Communication comes second. If you want to sustain in IT, whether you're going as a web developer, whether you're going as a middleware developer, whether you're going to work in any data-driven technologies, please take it from me. SQL is must for each and every individual who's working in any company. There is no ever exception. If you want to sustain in IT, first learn SQL. This is a very strong advice I give to all the youngsters in the recent times. The moment they come for anything like I need any guidance, the first thing I'll say is, boss, you learn SQL. Whether you're going as a web developer, you're going as a backend developer, or you're going as a data analyst or data engineering, I am least bothered. You learn SQL. It's very important than knowing your communication language, which is English. Knowing English, you can just communicate to your colleagues. Knowing English, you can communicate to your office members. Knowing database language, you can communicate to any database, and we're all going to be a technical person. There is no application in this world without data. You prove me, I will resign right away today. You prove me any application without the involvement of data, I will resign right away. I'm still trying to find an answer. I am also not able to get an application which doesn't use data. Maybe you have to just take photos, that's it, because it's going to be static. You open any application, you open any app, data is involved. And when data is involved, you have to have a storage. And in order to communicate to the storage, one beautiful language is required, which is going to be SQL. Okay. If I keep saying SQL is important, you people will never believe me. Let's do one small analysis. I'll show you two situations. Okay. And I'll be giving an example why SQL is important. You keep saying somewhere in Google you would have taken 55% and you start speaking about your manager and you're keeping some stories. Well, if that is the case, I'm proving that SQL is important. You may be wrong. I'll be giving a two use case which proves you that SQL is important. For the next 15 minutes, listen to me why SQL has been considered as most important, and let's see how this has been an highly rated technology. For that, let me share the next slide. We have something called OLAP and OLTP. Looks a very plain blank presentation. I just can see content, right? I don't know what is this OLTP. I don't know what is this OLAP. Even if I say this, you people will not understand because this is a very plain blank text. In order to explain in detail, I'm going to walk you through two examples. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. The first thing we will talk about OLTP. I still don't know what is this OLTP. Imagine there are two people, person A and person B, and person A has to send an amount to person B. Maybe nowadays we do have a different way of sending money. We started with the online banking. Now we are in the phone pay, Google Pay, Paytm, and we can send money. And personally, I like Google Pay, so I'm using Google Pay. So I'm sending money from person A to person B. I just open his number and enter the amount, and I enter the UPI pin, 4-digit pin or 6-digit pin, depending on your bank. And the next second, automatically the 6,000 becomes 4,000 and 1,500 becomes 3,500. Very simple. How much time it takes to send money? Less than 5 seconds. Right? I'm talking about a successful transaction. There sometimes happens your failed transactions. If you have overused for today, if you have crossed your limit, if your bank server is not responding, it all goes into a failure message. But if it's a successful transaction, the amount of time taken will be less than 5 seconds, right? That's good to know. That's good to know. Another example which I want to talk about is ATM transactions. Which sound is considered as the most satisfying sound? The counting money in ATM machine. Yes or no? The moment you enter you put your card, give your pin, and the sound you get, right? The counting sound. That's the most satisfying sound. Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah.
Now you go to an ATM. You go to an ATM machine. Just listen carefully. You go to an ATM machine at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay. You go to a ATM machine. Your balance is 10,000. Your balance is 10,000. 8-1 you have withdrawn 2,000. So withdraw is debit or credit? What is D? What is C? What do you mean by debit and what do you mean by credit? Incoming is credit, outgoing is debit. So this guy, 8 o'clock in the morning, yes, 8,000, 10,000. 9 o'clock, he takes out 2K. Now the balance should be 8,000, right? Let's assume that this transaction is not updated immediately. This transaction does not happen the same day. Tell me what consequence can happen. I repeat my question. The moment you go to ATM, you withdraw money, whether you're getting a mobile message or not, that doesn't matter. But if you go and see in your bank, they would have detected the amount. You even do a transaction in the untime in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or midnight, 1 o'clock, even on a holiday, the bank would have got transaction changed. Even in the untime, the transaction would have affected. Maybe you may not get message during that time. Your Airtel or a Jio or a Vodafone may not have the proper network. You would have not got the message. I'm not depending on messages. Messages is just a notification. But if you go and see in the passbook, if you print it, or if you just go and see in your net banking e-passbook, electronic way of passbook, and if you see, automatically there will be an entry. Even if you're doing at 1:30 or 1:35 in the early morning, a transaction appears. You all have experiences. Luckily, if you have a very good network, you will get a message. But if you're not having a proper network, message you may not get it, but transaction would have been successful, and in the bank it would have got affected. Now that's what your bank works. By chance, just imagine that one day the bank has not updated your transactions one complete day. Now you think and tell me what is the consequence can happen. What else? If the transactions is not affected on one day completely, what will happen? At 9 o'clock, you are withdrawing 2K, the balance still shows 10K. At 1 o'clock, you again withdraw 5K, and the balance still shows 10K. At 4 o'clock, you again withdraw 5K, the balance still shows 10K. Okay. And if you see here, and imagine that 6 o'clock, you withdraw another 5K. Because the balance still shows 10K, you still have that luxury to go and withdraw. Next day, 5, 10, 15, 17. You have withdrawn 17K, but you had only 10K. The next day, bank will go and update your balance as minus 7K. Have you ever encountered this situation ever in your career, in your life? Have this happened to anyone? You withdraw more and more, and once the bank is server is up, they go and update your charges to be minus 7K. Have anyone seen this balance ever in your bank? No one would have ever experienced this. Minus 7K. Impossible. Impossible. This will never happen. Every transaction, even if you're doing in the untime, the transaction will go and affect, it will still go and have the changes. It's all because there's someone who is sitting in the packet who is updating. If you ask me at 1 o'clock or 1:30, is it a person who's sitting and updating all the transactions? Definitely not. It's a system. It's a system. So any transaction which you're making, automatically it will detect from your balance and it will show it as a new balance. Now, this type of transaction, which happens very, very limited time within seconds, is called OLTP. All the concepts which I'm explaining now, which can be grouped into a type of transaction, which is called OLTP. Now, what is this OLTP? OLTP stands for online transactional processing. Now, what is this online transaction processing? Any transaction which happens within milliseconds or seconds can be considered as a online transactional processing. In the recently concluded match, India-Pakistan match went to a reserve day. Like they started one day, they finished one day. Hope you know this, right? Because of rain, they started on Monday and they finished on Tuesday. Now, similarly, you start a transaction on Monday. Do you think it will end on Tuesday? Has this ever happened to anyone? Maybe you may get some error message or some in-process message, but that is server issue. But if you do a transaction, the opposite person immediately will get the amount and it will be immediately detected in your account. Well, this type of transactions is called online transactional processing. The type of the transaction where immediately you will be seeing the efforts, immediately you'll be able to see the changes. It's called online transactional processing. The one best example is you send money to someone, immediately transacted, and you go in for an ATM transaction. There is nothing as good as an example of ATM transaction, right? An ATM transaction is one thing, which is a very, very right example for online transaction processing. See, I'll tell you, today you go to your ATM, okay, make sure that you have a proper network. You put your PIN, you put an like around 7,000 or 8,000. So it starts counting. Okay, if it's a 10,000, it easily comes out. If it's a 7,000, it has to count it because it's an odd number. It has to count properly inside. So while counting it, you'll get that sound right. Still, you would have not got the amount in your hand, but still you would have got a message that the amount has depicted. That's how the system is fast. You'd have still not got the amount, but immediately the message would have got it that at 10,000 or 7,000 is detected. That's how the systems are fast. Now, this type of transactions, we call it as OLTP, online transactional processing. Okay. Now, is this concept clear? Online transactional processing? Yes. Now, let's go with another one. Okay, there is another one, something called OLAP. One is OLTP, which I've seen an example of ATM. Let's see OLAP. Okay, what is this OLAP? Yesterday or day before yesterday, I'm not sure. I was reading a news. We have iPhone 15, it seems. Is it true? iPhone 15 launch date. September 22nd, it's going to launch. The new iPhone 15 models will be available from September 22 in India. But I think it was already released in US, right? Apple launches. Okay, it's going to be launched on New York. Now, anyone is planning to buy? Anyone planning to buy? That is fine. Let's see what is the price first. Based on price, we will decide to buy or not. Yeah, I think I just a couple of days also I was seeing it. The price of the iPhone is 1,59,900 for the High Pro Max. Okay, so this is the price of the iPhone, and it's basically like iPhone Plus, iPhone Pro, iPhone Pro Max. I think we have four modules, and for four models. The one which, let's say, we are going to purchase will be iPhone 15 Pro Max. Okay, anyone willing to buy this? Why? Come on, you're all going to be data analyst. You can earn. What is there to buy? I am planning to buy. Who is accompanying me? Who is accompanying me? Like, who is buying along with me? Anyone? Anyone? Not right now. Why? Overpriced? Is it overpriced? Okay. Let's have this deal. Okay. Let's have this deal. For the next 15 minutes, carefully understand what I'm saying. And if you do this, if you are able to prove me, I will gift you the most expensive iPhone for free. This is a deal between you and me. I'll ask certain things to do. If you do this, even I don't own this phone, but if you successfully do it, if you are able to prove me, I will gift you this phone for free. The most expensive phone as of today stands iPhone 15 Pro Max. iPhone 15, you can even get it for 80 or 90,000, but I'm not even saying that. I'm saying iPhone Pro Max. It's the higher version among the four models, which is going to be as of Indian rupees 1,59,000. And I'm saying that I'm just giving it for free. Is the deal okay? Let's listen what you need to do. Let's listen what you need to do. I was actually planning for 13 Pro Max first. Okay, listen to the story first. In case if you're doing this, I'll be gifting you this. Okay, and if I say it, I will do it. I wanted to purchase iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I went for Amazon. Okay, I went to Amazon. Good that it has already logged in. And iPhone 13 Pro Max or 13. I don't know what is there in phone. It's very, very costly. Pro Max. Try Pro Max. 256 GB. I think price is reduced. That's fine. I'm going to buy this phone. Yeah, but I want to see. Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted. Let's say that I'm buying iPhone 14 Max now. 13 price, maybe I think the price is reduced. Now this is what I wanted to buy. Okay, we all are like assuming that a middle class family, this is overpriced. For a middle class family, this is overpriced. Okay, who is a middle class family? Person who is dependent on salary. If tomorrow I don't get salary, I'll be like affected. I consider myself as a middle class. In case if my salary is not affecting, maybe I'll call it as a upper middle class, whatever it is. And people who are like dependent on, I mean, the old people or like grandparents, grandmothers, all their property they have, you can even call it as a top class. You need not even work, right? For a middle class family, this is a overpriced. Let's listen to the story. 1 month back, 15 is still not launched. So this is a latest model. I want to buy this phone. Okay. Do you think directly I can go buy? Definitely no. Of course, if I am married, I can ask my wife a suggestion. If I'm not married, the first thing which I can ask is I need to ask my mother. Right? I just showed this phone to my mom. I just showed this phone to my mom, and I'm saying that, Mom, I'm going to buy this. One death scare she gave me at me. She's like seeing at me and saying, "What? You know what is the value of this phone? 1,27,000." The way she looked at me, as if she was like looking like a criminal. She was looking at me. She was staring at me and asking, "Hey, are you mad or what? 1,27,000. You can do a lot of other things. You can invest in gold. You can invest in share market, and you can do a lot of things. Are you mad to go and do this?" I was really like fed up. Okay, what is this? One wish I had to buy an iPhone, but my mom is like restricting it. Okay, I dropped the plan. But before dropping the plan, I had added this product to the cart. So what do you mean by add to cart? Whenever you are buying something, you first add it to the cart. Along with that, you may order phone case, or you may add back cover, screen guard, and totally you can buy it. So I added to the cart. After adding to the cart, I just went to my mom and showed this, and she was like scolding me. You invest at least in gold. It will be good for your future, but don't go and buy this. I really got a bit of worried. What is this? One life. We're all earning to enjoy a life. And my mom is like strictly saying, don't buy. And after that thought, even I felt maximum who calls me? Students only. Who else will call me? Maximum I may get KSR calls. Maximum I may get Microsoft calls. Why will I go and buy? If I want to see some a photo, I mean, if I want photo clarity. iPhone is known for photo, I mean the camera quality. I can even buy a DSLR for taking photos. I can even become a wildlife photography. Why I need to go and buy this? So all these things changed my mind. Immediately I removed from the cart. Now currently I don't have anything in the cart. The moment if I add it, the moment if I add it, and I can go and see that the item is added to the cart. Now I added to the cart and I removed it because somewhere or the other way, my mom restricted not to buy, so I did not buy. Day two, the day one, I was. We all know, right? If you're like something, if you're like hungry with your parents, the first thing you want to do is you show on food. You don't eat lunch. You don't eat breakfast. The same thing I did. She scolded me. I did not have anything. I just went to my room. She called me a couple of times to have food. I did not come because she's not allowing me to buy my favorite phone, right? So it was like I restricted having food also. Slowly, second day she came and said that, okay, don't be mood off. You buy. I will give some half of the amount, and you put some half amount and you buy. Second day, she agreed. The way I behaved for one day, I did not have food. We all do that, right? Whenever you're angry, you show it on food, you show it on sleep. I also did the same thing. The second day, she said, like, okay, you buy. Let me give half of the money. Now, remember. See, along with the story, remember what I'm doing it. The second day, I again added to the cart. I was very happy that I got a green signal from my mom. I went to my friends and I showed them. See, this is what I'm going to buy. My mom also did not tell me anything. So how is this phone? I'm very excited for buying this phone. Again, my friend, he started also scolding. What are you doing? There are a lot of other phones to buy. Why are you going and buying iPhone 14 Pro Max? And I'm also using iPhone 13. Not worth. Why are you spending this amount? And he also gave a negative thought about this phone, which again felt me bad. What is this? My mom told to buy, but this guy is saying is again giving a negative thought because the way he's giving negative thought, he told that after you buy, you may regret it because it's a very high price. You can even get one nano car for this. One car you can get it, a nano car, a small car, and you're buying a small iPhone which is going to fit within your pocket. The same negative thoughts again from the cart. I added to the cart again. Once I got the permission from my mom, I added to the cart. And again, I went to show my friends, and my friends also discouraged, "Oh, don't buy this." I removed it from the cart. Again, it's like I mixed emotions. Sometimes the most difficult situation is mixed emotions. You don't know what to do, whether to buy or whether to not buy, whether to go or not to go, whether to learn or not to learn. The same thing you'll have for this course also. You're in dilemma, whether I'm going to learn this course or not. Great. So certain things will happen in your life where you'll have to show some mixed emotions. Even I also, for the second time, this moved out of my cart. Third day, I went to another friend. The other friend gave a positive response. One life. Tomorrow, we don't know what is going to happen. Enjoy what you want. You're earning for whom? Let's buy it. He gave some positive response. Fourth day, believe it or not, even I thought in a negative way. Should I really spend this amount? Let's drop the plan. Fourth day, I am dropping the plan of buying this phone. Story completed. Let's think from Amazon perspective. Now, all this time for the last 5-10 minutes, I'm talking as Santhosh. Now for the next 5 minutes, I am going to talk as Santhosh, who's working in Amazon. I'm not at the normal user. I'm at the opposite side. What happened to this person? I'm talking from Amazon, okay? What happened to this person? He came, he added to the cart, he did not buy. Okay, I thought he did not have money. Second day also he came, again he did not, he added to the cart, again he did not buy. Come on. Third day also he came, he added to the cart, he is not buying. Now from Amazon perspective, what is this is stopping him to buy? Is he looking for different colors? Is he looking for any accessories? What is he looking? What is he looking? What is wrong with this person? He's coming, he's showing interest, he's adding to the cart, he's not buying. He's coming, he's adding to the cart, he's not buying. He's coming, he's adding to the cart, he's not buying. What is wrong? This is what I am talking from Amazon perspective, right? This is what I'm talking from Amazon perspective. Fourth day, they will scratch this amount and they will tell you 109,999. They will do this. Of course, they've already done this here. MRP is 1,39,000 for me. They're showing it as 1,27,000. They have already done it for me. After 4 days, Amazon will do this. You know why? If you buy, Amazon will be profit. Something is better than nothing. Amazon, even if they are like charging less for you, they may still give you offer, discount, cashbacks. After 4 days, 100% you will get either or the other benefit. The first benefit they may reduce the price. Only for you, I'm saying, not for the entire people. Because you are the person who showed interest on this product. You are the person who added to the cart for the last 4 days. They will give only offer to you. The same product, if you open in your friend's mobile as a fresh app, you can still see that 1,37,000. But for you, you're seeing 1,27,000. The reason is you have browsed. Something is stopping you from buying this. And the one which you are buying, they don't have, they don't know why you are not buying. They'll start reducing the price, the first one. The second one is they'll give you 10% cashback on credit card or debit card. The third is they'll give an option called no EMI option. No EMI option. This is no cost EMI. They will not even charge extra if you're buying on EMI. That also they'll not do. And if you're buying through any credit card or debit card, you can still get a 10% off. All this offers they'll give only to you, because knowing that you are the person who are like showing interest on this product, they want you to buy this product. Even if you buy for 10,000 less, still they will make money. Now, this type of analysis will not happen overnight. This will not have open overnight. They've analyzed your 3 days activities. They've analyzed your 3 days activities. First day, they analyze how many times this guy is coming to the screen, how many times this guy is adding to the cart, how many times is actually trying to buy, and what is stopping him. After 3 days, 100% these people will give discounts. Either one or the other offer they will give. Either one or the other offer they will give. That is how this company works. Of course, if you're buying for 1,37,000, they may make 15,000 profit. But if you buy for 1,27,000, they'll still make a 5,000 profit. That's the idea behind Amazon, saying that something is better than nothing. If you have that 1,37,000, you may feel like it's overpriced. Let me tell you. If you see this, you will also feel like not buying it, right? But by chance, if they're showing this like this, now you are tend to buy. Why? From 6 digit, it has now become 5 digit. Now you will have that feel of buying it. Hey, how come? In 1 week, it has reduced. Let me give a try. Let me buy it. Now, this is what is called mind change. Something they're making from the back end, and you get even more attracted. We say that the dopamine in your brain, this is acting now. Hey, suddenly it has reduced. Suddenly the price has reduced from a 6-digit number. Now it has become 5-digit, and you still don't know that it is still to 1 lakh only. You still consider as a 5-digit. You start buying this product, and take it from me, a lot of people who are doing like this are buying that product. They see that the offer is reduced, and immediately you go and place the order. Backend, they're still generating profit, but they're wanting you to buy. If you buy, it's a profit for Amazon. How Amazon is running today? It's one of the best e-commerce company in the world. But how? It's because of you people only. Whoever is buying, company is making profit. Now coming to this analysis, it's not happened over day. It has happened for the last 3 days. Last 3 days, they've understood what you're doing. They've understood your activities, and only then they have come up with the offers. If you open freshly from your other friend's phone, still it will show you the original price only. And even he has to keep on adding, removing, and he also should go and actively browse it. Only then he will be able to get this offer. End of story. This type of transactions is called online analytical processing, which is called OLAP, which is called OLAP, online analytical processing. Compared to your OLAP and OLTP, your OLTP stands as an immediate transaction, whereas OLAP, the transaction can happen in 1 day, or it can happen after 3 days. The offer they are releasing, it's not immediately. 5 o'clock, you log into your app, add it to the cart, 5 they will give you offer, don't expect that. They'll give you after 3 days. They'll analyze your 3 days activities. This type of transactions is called online analytical processing. The one which happens immediately like an ATM transaction is called online transactional processing. The one which I give an example of analyzing 3 days, it's called online analytical processing. Is the concept clear? Let's come to the challenge. If anyone is able to do this successfully, I will gift you iPhone 15 Pro Max. Even I don't own it. None of the KSR students own it. None of the KSR employees own it. But still, I'll gift you this. I'll tell you what you need to do. I'll tell you what you need to do. Okay. The steps are, choose a product first. What you want. Choose a product, what you want to buy. It could be anything, like whichever is like 15,000, 20,000, or even you can choose iPhone Pro Max itself. It's still not in the market, but choose any product. Okay. When you choose the original product on the day, let's say for example 19th September today. Okay. Let's imagine that you have chosen a product at 8 o'clock in the morning. You choose a product. It could be any product, your wish. You add it in the morning to the cart and remove it in the evening. You added the product at 8 o'clock and you remove it in the evening. Okay. Second day. Okay. One more thing. When you are adding in the product, take a screenshot. How will I believe you? Okay. Take a screenshot. Even if it's your phone or if your a computer, I want a screenshot with the time. When you add it, the time is important for me. Simply, if you go and say I added a product, what will I know? Screenshots is important for me. Add to the product, evening, screenshot. Again, add to the cart on day 2, screenshot. Again, remove from the cart, day 2, evening, screenshot. The screenshot is for my proof. I need to know whether you have really actively did this or not. 3 days if you do this, 3 days if you do this, if you don't see any price change, if you don't see any discounts, if you don't see any offers, if you don't see any cashbacks, if you don't see any no EMI option, I'll get you this gift. When I say screenshot, it should be like this. Like what is the original price, what is this percentage, and what is the offer they are giving. All these details I should have like this, like a screenshot. What is the original price on day 1 and what is the original price after 3 days. When I say, it should have all the details, whether they have initially given the offer, credit card offer, no EMI option, discounts, cashbacks, everything should be there. After 4 days, If this is not happening, the product which you have selected in the cart, I will bear that price. I will gift it to you free. Along with that, the box piece of iPhone 15 Pro Max will also be within your address. This is a challenge between you and me. Is a deal okay? Anyone who's still thinking can get this from Santhosh? I have never used iPhone 15 Pro Max, but still I'm confidently saying that I will gift you. That means you need to understand that 100% this will happen. I have worked in Amazon. I know how they really work. I know how they give offer. I know how they give all this discounts, cashbacks. I just brought that concept to you. Today, if you choose any product, you keep adding to the cart, removing, and keep on doing something. The first thing Amazon will think is, what happened to this guy? He's keep on doing it. Let me give some offers. Let him make him to buy. And that's how your mind games works. And this is what exactly any e-commerce company will do with the help of recommendations and reducing the price, because according to them, something is better than nothing. And they give you offers. And if you keep on doing this, they will also analyze your activities. Confidently, when I'm saying this, you need to understand that somewhere this guy would have researched. When I worked in Amazon, I know how it really works. This is how it is. But it's not going to happen in a single transaction or a single adding to the cart. This is a OLAP system, online analytical processing. It's an online analytical processing. When you're using this online analytical processing, you should keep observing that it can happen in 1 day of analysis, 2 day of analysis, 3 day of analysis. The offer which you're expecting, you will be getting after 3 days, but your ATM transactions can never wait for 3 days. Please remember that. Your ATM transactions can never wait for 3 days, but your analytical processing can wait. That's what this OLAP and OLTP is. A concept clear? Very important for an analytical purpose. You have to know what is the difference between OLAP and OLTP. For the last 25-30 minutes, I've given you the complete detailed description of this. Hope you will never forget. Just remember iPhone 15 Pro Max, you will never forget these two topics. Are we good? Okay. With this, we will stop here. One last thing which I'll tell about SQL and I'll stop here. Which is the fastest animal, running animal? There is tiger, there is lion, there is cheetah, there are other animals. Every animal can run. Every animal can run. Listen carefully. Every animal can run. Which is the fastest animal? Cheetah. Cheetah. Okay. Now, every technology can process the data, but no one can ever match the speed of SQL. That is why even today, this is one of the top rated skill in the market. I repeat, every other technology can also go and do data processing. No other technology can beat the speed of SQL transaction. And that is why even today, that is on top level. No other animal can beat the speed of cheetah. No other animal can beat the speed of cheetah. No other technology can beat the speed of SQL. That is why this is important. If you are doing an ATM transaction, you don't even have patience to wait for 5 minutes. You have to get immediately the transaction. You have to wait for the immediate output. There's no other technology which can match the speed of SQL. Very simple. Clear? Okay. With that, I'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. In the next class, we will see. We have seen the first 3 topics. I mean, history I did not cover. I'll cover it. But in the next class, we will cover these 3. Okay.